Welcome back. I know it's been a while since I've done a video. I think it's funny because my mic is sticking up here in my face. I broke my mic holder that I have always used, and I kept it down a little bit lower than what it is. Maybe it'll sound better like this. I don't know. But I broke it, and at the same time, I broke the power cord to my mic, so I'm having to use a Type C charge cable for a phone. Anyway, that's not what this video is about. This video is about, I think we have hit bottom with trucking. And I think that what is going to happen here is we're going to move sideways for a little while and slowly start coming back up on the upside of trucking. Finally, the last company that I was leased onto as an owner operator was down in Dallas, Texas. And when this hit, it hit a little over 2 years ago. I was an owner operator then, and it hit, and a lot of owner operators just quit. They took off. They left the company, and the owner was doing monthly Zoom meeting calls with all the drivers, the ones that would log in and attend anyway. And he made a series of videos about how we go through these cycles with trucking. You know, there's like a 14-year cycle, a 7-year cycle, a 4-year cycle, and then a 2-year cycle. Well, the 2 and the 4-year cycles come with the elections. You know, every 2 years we have local and state elections. Every 4 years we have federal elections, and then the opposite 2 years there we have like Senate races and Congress people races, congressman races, stuff like that. So he was equating that to that, and I'm not real sure what he was talking about with the 7-year cycle, but with a 14-year cycle, with a 14-year, it's supposedly a thing where we go through this analysis of the country and we reassess every 14 years. So take a health check, as you will, of the pulse of the United States, and then every 14 years we do this. Well, this is my opinion. It's my total opinion here, but I think what happened during last federal election with Donald Trump and Joe Biden was something that we have never experienced ever in this country. Now, a lot of people say that it was election fraud. A lot of people say that it was something that just should not have happened. Some votes was not counted. There was manipulation. I don't really know. I have heard all the rumors and everything, but I don't know exactly what happened there. But in my opinion, something happened that was very, very unique. Because you can take all of the election numbers, the people that turned out, and you can go back to Ronald Reagan and go through each race and keep going. And the numbers of turnouts are almost exactly the same. You have almost exactly the same number of votes when you add the Democrat votes and the Republican votes. Now, some people will switch parties. Like a lot of people switched with Obama because Obama was a very, very popular president his first term. But what you don't see is a consistent number of votes Republican, and then this huge jump, this massive jump in votes for Democrat, president only. And then down ticket all the federal elections and the state and local elections, everything looks the same. That is exactly what happened, not this last election with Joe Biden and Trump, but the first election with Joe Biden and Trump. You saw Joe Biden's numbers just jump through the roof, and the Republican numbers stayed consistent. That's never happened in the history of elections, ever. And I can do a video on that and show exactly what I'm talking about. But it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. What I'm saying in this video is the dust is settling. Everything is calming down and everything is settling down. And I think where we are right now is we have hit bottom. There's nowhere else to go but up. And that's with trucking. And I see some other things that are pointing to it besides just the stock chart. I'm going to put up some stock charts here in just a second and show you what I mean by the stock charts. But there's some other things that are trending up as well. Walmart, the United States' largest retail store, is having record-breaking profits. And you go, how? With everything that's going on right now, how? Well, because a lot of these higher-end department stores have either went bankrupt or are going bankrupt. So even the fancy lottie-dottie people are going to Walmart because they have nowhere else to go. Online sales are doing very well. There's a retailer that I don't know that much about, but it is a retailer that is buying some of the bankrupt Big Lots stores, and this store is called Ollie's. I'll try to put up something here about Ollie's. I don't know anything about that company really. There is one that my wife and I went into, and it looked like a step up above a flea market. That's what it looked like to me. I didn't see anything in Ollie's that I could live without, and we walked out without purchasing anything whatsoever. And we didn't really have any intentions of purchasing anything when we went in. We were just, going to look. And that's exactly what we did. But Ollie's is on the stock market, and Ollie's is doing very well. Another retailer, BJ Wholesale, they're not in the area that I live in, but they are doing very well. Costco is reaching new highs. They're doing very well. Sam's Club and Walmart are together, so you can't split Sam's Club up there. But I'm sure Sam's Club is doing very well if you looked at them. And what does that matter, about trucking? Well, look how many loads are delivered to Walmart on a daily basis. And then you add in Ollie's and Costco and BJ Wholesales and Kroger and all of these other retailers, you're going to have an effect on trucking. So all of these companies are doing very well. And with the stocks, I'm going to put up here about these are trucking stocks. Let me get my phone out so I can follow along with what I'm going to put up here. The first one that I will put up is Martin. Now, I've talked about Martin doing very badly. Pardon me. Martin has been doing very badly. And you can look at the stock chart here and see they are on a huge downward trend. What I want you to look at is this very bottom right hand corner of the stock. See how it quit doing its downward momentum and it moved sideways? I'll put up the next stock here and I'll circle it to show you what I'm talking about. This stock here is UPS. See the similarity between Martin and UPS, how it just stopped its downward trend and moved sideways? What does Martin and UPS have in common? Not much, except for their trucking stocks. And they both have been doing very, very, very poorly. UPS is doing almost as bad as Martin. But it stopped. And now they're moving sideways. And I'll zoom in here. I'll put this picture up and zoom in. This is UPS stock. And you can see really clear when I zoom in there what I'm talking about. It just like hit bottom, come up a little bit, hit bottom again, come up, and now it's moving sideways. So that's UPS. And then we were talking about Martin, the first one. The next one here is Landstar. Landstar, you can see in that bottom right hand corner, same thing. It hit bottom, bounced up, hit bottom, bounced up, moving sideways. That's Landstar. Maybe that had something to do with Roadrunner Nia and her tight-fitting jeans or tight-fitting spandex shorts. I don't know. I'm not picking on the girl, but she took off and went over there to Landstar, so maybe that was what happened here. No, it's the stock. It's the stock that's doing it. So you've got UPS, Landstar, and Martin. There's three of them, and when you go into the stocks and look at these trucking stocks, they all are following along the same lines. And I think what we have done here is we've hit bottom. That's my prediction. Now, we'll see in the coming months what will happen and see where it goes to from here. But I really think that we have hit bottom and bounced a couple of times and hit bottom, and we're leveling out and we're moving on. Now, I do a lot of research, I do a lot of reading, I do a lot of video watching about stocks because I'm getting into it quite a bit. And one of the people that I like to watch is on YouTube, and it's called Bravo's Research. And they are very, very, very smart, very educated about what they do there. In fact, a couple of their stocks that they have talked about that they are invested in are stocks that I am invested in. So I know we're following along on the same page here, Bravo's research and myself. So something they said that is happening with the market as a whole right now is it is consolidating. And what consolidating means is your high highs and your low lows are shrinking. You're moving into a path. Think of it as a bottleneck. You know, you have a Coke bottle that's thick at the bottom and then it slenders up to the top. Bottleneck. You have this convergence of the up and down, and it starts pushing. Well, whenever that happens, three things can happen. You know, it can converge even more, and we can just stay sideways for weeks and months at a time as the market as a whole. We can compress it until it just pops, and then we have a falling out, you know, like we did back in 2008, or we have a really, really bad falling out like we did back in 1929 with the stock market crash, or that bottleneck can open back up and we can shoot up, and the market can shoot up. I think that's what we're seeing here. Whenever you take in all these things into consideration, Walmart's moving up, Kroger's moving up, Ollie's is moving up, BJ Wholesale's moving up. All of these retailers are moving up. And then you have the ones that are like falling down, that have went bankrupt and having issues and all. And then you see a bounce with trucking and leveling out. I think what we're seeing is a very, very, very good sign. This consolidation is going to move sideways. Now, how long this is going to happen, I don't know. One thing that I think will really, really shock the system in trucking is what I put on my community post the other day. June 25th is quickly approaching. The end of this month, June 25th, 2025, is when the English proficiency test is about to begin. And I have been reading stuff that Oklahoma has now bumped their fines up to $3,000 if you're caught in Oklahoma with a B1 or B2 visa. And Arkansas, of course, has got their $500 fine. They were the first state to start it, and they have a $500 fine. And the second offense is a $1,000 fine. And now the feds has come in and said, you know, we'll just shut the truck down if they come across, you know, the scale and they get inspected and they can't speak English. We'll just put them out of service. And that is going to cause a problem. That's going to cause a lot of problems. I want to do that in another video because that will take too long here. But that will cause a lot of problems. And I think that's where we're seeing this sideways movement, and it's going to continue on, I would say, throughout June, throughout July. But what always happens, we get that bump in August in trucking when kids go back to school. You know, whether it's high school or grade school or college, you always have that bump in trucking, and then we run all the way until turkey time, until Thanksgiving. And I think we're going to see a big boom later on this year This is my prediction. This is my prediction is what we're going to see is a gradual increase, a convergence, June, July, and then into August. Look out. Here we go. That's my prediction. I don't want to give people false hopes. I don't want to lead you on and think that, just painting a sunny sky here for us, but I really think that's about what is going to happen. We'll see. We'll see what happens for sure, but I'm not getting out of the stock market. I'm invested. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. And actually, I've been thinking about one of these stocks that I've been talking about with this video. I wonder which one that would be. Anyway, thank you guys for patiently waiting on me to put videos back out. I've been just crazy busy with work and the stocks and being tired. I got a break. I'm up here in Wilmington, Illinois. I got to go to the dreaded Chicago tomorrow. Maybe it won't be too bad because I'm just going to go in, drop this freight off, and jump out and go over to Germantown, Wisconsin, and pick up a load that's headed back south. So I'm going to just whip in there and turn it and burn it and go. I may even do another video tonight. We'll wait and see. But for now, thank you guys for waiting on me. Thank you guys for watching the video. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. And we will catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.